Hey, what's up guys? It's C-Stacks coming to you with a tournament deck profile. As many of you probably know, Dreamhack Dallas was this past weekend. The championship was on Sunday, and I got third place with Dark Phoenix. It was Singularity format, so one-of-a-kind format. I know what you're thinking, C-Stacks with another Dark Phoenix deck. I didn't really want to end up playing Dark Phoenix. I tried a bunch of other decks that I thought would be kind of fun, but also competitive. I tried like Black Suit Spider-Man, Juggernaut. I tried Dragon, which was probably not good, but I love my Xenomorphs. A couple other decks we tried, but I ended up landing on Dark Phoenix, so I went 5-0 in Swiss. I beat Underworld Deadpool in no particular order because I can never remember the order. I think it was Underworld Deadpool, then Dark Phoenix, Black Panther, Thor. And I beat Sister Grimm. I eventually lost to that same Sister Grimm player in the semifinals in top 4. But I did go undefeated in Swiss. I played against Buffy in top 8. And then I lost to Sister Grimm in top 4. So, it was pretty cool to make top 4 again. Got this really sweet Deadpool mat for that. Also at the event, I got a bunch of people to sign my my mat here. Fortunately, a bunch of these are starting to fade, so you can tell which ones are recent and which ones are older. But huge shout out to everybody who signed my mat. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get into the deck. Alright, so here it is. As I said, we're playing Dark Phoenix. The idea here is that Dark Phoenix just kind of plays the same in Singularity format as she always does. You just try to mulligan for 2 yellows, ramp as soon as you can, and just be 2 to 4 turns ahead of your opponent and drop huge dudes. It might not be the same huge dudes you normally drop in a constructed game, but being 2 to 4 mana ahead of your opponent and dropping huge bombs is always good. Also, it's worth noting your Thor matchup is quite a bit better in Singularity format as opposed to regular, because their blues are just way less consistent. They only have 1 Kane, they only have 1 Build a Better World, 1 Iron Man. So Thor still obviously has the advantage against you because obviously those lightning bolts are going to hurt, but it's much better in Singularity than it is in Multiverse. So let's do a real quick rundown of the deck and we'll explain some of the choices a little bit. Alright, so we're playing Dark Phoenix. On 1, we have our 1 Slingshot, Shield Agent, Cosmo. We're playing the Falcon Drone to go with our Falconer. We're playing a lot of Predator cards so that we can get our Predator equipment off when we see it. We're playing the Agents on 1. We're playing most of the Agents on every drop. I think the only one we're missing is Grant Ward, because I don't think that card's very good. But in Singularity format, you kind of need to be playing a lot of the Agent cards, especially the early ones. And especially in a deck like Dark Phoenix, where you need to see those yellows, you really need to be digging for that. So that's something I saw that a lot of people at Dallas didn't really weren't really hip on, is the Agents. You really need to be playing those cards, especially if there's like some specific cards you really want to be seeing in the early turns. Definitely be playing those Agents. So those are our 1-drops. We have Fitzsimmons and Sharon Carter on 2. We got our Agents there. We got our 1 Kane, 1 Mantis, 1 Primeval Hunter. Those ones are pretty self-explanatory. We've got our 3-drop Agents. We got Maria Hill and Phil Coulson. We also have Jessica Jones on 3. We've got Gorgon, which is our one of our anti-Thor cards, and we have Fanged Leviathan. Fanged Leviathan is really good in this deck because you're not really wounding the opponent early until you start seeing your high drop, so it's kind of good to get that free wound. We've got our 4-drop Agent, which is Mockingbird. That card's really good. Our keys, Flint. Flint is another good anti-Thor card. It actually won me my matchup against Buffy as well, which was cool. We got our 4-drop Falconer. On 5, we got Melinda May. It's really fun to play this card for free when you have 5 wounds in your main character. We've got Groot. This card is incredible in this deck. Almost didn't play this. It's probably also worth playing the 2-drop version, whatever that card's called. The one that's basically has the same power as Groot. But that card only has 1 wound, and it only gains for face-down resources. But Groot gets huge, and he's got those 2 wounds. We have Mantle Thor, Jane Foster Thor. This card is super, super important, especially when you only have 1 medkit. You need to be playing Thor in this deck. She saves your butt so much. She won me a couple of games. Really important to be playing Thor. We have Miss America. On our 6-drops, we have Iron Man, Ghost, Cersei, who is incredible, Leviathan Beast. On to 7-drops, we have the Dual Maul Leviathan. We have our 1 Jungle Hunter, of course. You got to play him still. Shikla, who is surprisingly good in this deck. Power Man, who is incredible. This card is insane. Definitely be playing Power Man. Hyperion. On 8 we have our Thanos, our Foom, and our Gilgamesh. And then I went ahead and played 12-drop Captain Universe. This card is really, I mean, it doesn't do anything, but being 25/25 is really, really good. Usually because you're taking so many wounds in the early game, you can probably keep him for a couple of turns and he might just win you the game. So I definitely think you should be playing Captain Universe in this deck. For our equipment, we have our 1-net launcher, med kit, nullifier, and serpent crown. I don't think I saw serpent crown all day, but the other 3 cards are really good. So for our plot twist, we have dramatic entrance. We have strategic homeland intervention because we have so many agents. This card comes in really handy. And then we have obviously these 3. We have shock to the system, flank cover, and savage surprise. And then as our locations, we obviously have the 4 Madripoor, 4 yellow, 4 predator ship, and our 4 Val Verdun jungle. So anyway, that's the deck. It's pretty self-explanatory. You basically you're using mulligan for at least 1 yellow, obviously. If you have 2 yellows, obviously you keep. If you have 1 yellow and an agent, I usually keep that as well. So you basically are just using the agents to try to get to your 2nd yellow and then ramp and then drop huge dudes, and that's about it. It's Dark Phoenix, pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, so huge shout-outs to the Houston crew who did really well in this event. There were, I think they were a majority of the top 8, so huge congrats to them. Huge shout out to my boy Nick, part of the Build Better crew, who got top 8 with Buffy. Really cool to see a photographic main character in the top cut. So that's about it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Sorry for yet another Dark Phoenix deck profile. Hopefully at the next major event, I'll play something a little more interesting. I won't be at Origins, so I'm done with Singularity format, thank God. But I will be at Gen Con, so I can't play Dark Phoenix at Gen Con, so, I'll have to come up with something a little different. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.